Alright, let's talk about Stylelint, a tool for anyone working with CSS that makes sure that the code doesn't go off the rails. It identifies errors and rule violations, suggests fixes, and sometimes it solves issues for you. So welcome back, I'm Przemek, and in this material I will show you how Stylelint can improve the consistency of your CSS code. Check it out! And that's the next part of the whole series about linting process in web development. I've already discussed editor config, Prettier, the basic knowledge about linting process, so if you haven't managed to check all the previous materials, and I insist you to check out this playlist because it includes all the tools, descriptions that we've already done, so check it out. What kind of issues I refer to? For example, if your project has a policy against using pixels unit, you can configure Stylelint to flag any instance where pixels units are used, providing immediate feedback for developers that this needs to be changed. This instant alert helps maintaining consistency and uphold standards with your project. Stylelint protects against coding issues, saves development time and improves the quality of your project. It is precious in the team's environments or larger projects where a consistent coding style is a key. However, it is not so crucial if you don't write a lot of CSS code or for the simplest projects. How to install Stylelint? At first, I suggest to sticking to the official docs and using npm for installation. This method ensures a smooth setup, avoiding the issues that sometimes can be encountered with other package managers like I experienced with Yarn. So you can fire the following command and initialize the Stylelint configuration. The installation command not only set up a Stylelint, but also includes recommended rules, providing a strong foundation that you can customize for your project needs. It also creates a configuration file named .stylelintrc.json, but to keep the configuration files consistent, such as with .prettierrc, you might consider renaming it to the .stylelintrc, just like I did. The only configuration that we have there is only the extension of the Stylelint config standard that ensures the basic coding rules. Okay, so once the Stylelint is installed, you are ready to put it into work. With the command line interface, you can lint all the SCSS or CSS files within the specific directory, for example, resources. In this example, we use resources directory in our theme or plugin to store all the frontend assets that we use. As you can see, the tool lists all the rule breaks based on the configuration that we've set, and we can now make some changes to fix them. If Stylelint identifies issues that can be automatically fixed, appending the fix flag to your command will address those issues, simplifying the workflow. Of course, any remaining issues must be manually handled, which is a standard part of the process, but that's how those tools work. As you can see, after running the fix command, the tool fixes all the auto-fixable problems and lists only one line that still have some rule breaks, and we just need to open this file and make the changes manually. A small tip: dropping Stylelint tasks into your package.json is a great way to make your setup more efficient, keeping one configs and dependencies in one place. Just place the linting and formatting commands after the Prettier ones. I've already described the Prettier rules and why I use it in my codebase, so if you haven't managed to check the previous material, I insist you to check it out. I will provide the link in the video description. How to ignore the code in Stylelint. The process with Stylelint is similar to other linters and formatters, so you can use specific comments, formats to exclude certain blocks from verification, specify lines, or even disable a specific rule for a section or a line. Additionally, you can create a .stylelintignore file to exclude entire directories or specific file formats from being linted. Alternatively, you can achieve the same results by specifying files to ignore in the ignore files key of the Stylelint configuration file. And let's be honest now. How many of you care about the order of CSS properties in the code that you write? Let me know in the comments, what order do you use? I found one article about this, but it was all about from 2017, and 40% of users grouped them in the logical connected group, but also more than 40% just create the random order, which is not so great, in my opinion, of course. Why I am asking about this? One of the key strengths of Stylelint is its adaptability. Let's say that you want to enforce a specific order of CSS properties to enhance the code readability. It's generally easier to read the code when properties follow a logical sequence like here. So should we check every line and try to find the other violations on our own? Totally not. Thanks to the Stylelint extensive plugin ecosystem, you can easily handle this. You need to start by installing the Stylelint order plugin, then choose and install one of the available ordering standards too, and set its usage in the Stylelint RC configuration file. Once the plugin is installed and your configuration is updated, you can run the Stylelint, which will highlight any problems with your code based on defined property order. As you can see here, we've written a code that doesn't follow the order rules and we have a lot of things to fix. Of course, you can move the lines manually, but it doesn't make sense. Fortunately, most of the problems related to the property order can be automatically fixed. You can run one command and the tool will handle the order for us, making sure that it is compliant with our rules. Stylelint provides many other customizations, so this is your chance to customize it to fit your team's vibe, mixing and matching all the rules until you've got your ideal setup. So check out the official docs, create your own workflow and let me know how it improves your workflow. How to integrate Stylelint with VS Code. Fortunately, it is really easy because it offers an integration plugin, so setting it up is pretty easy. Simply install the plugin and it should work without any problems. But if you work with SCSS, you need to adjust the extension settings to include those files types to check too. This is also applicable to other file types like Vue, if you want to lint the CSS code also there. So once installed, the plugin allows you to see the problems in your code as you write. You can also fix those issues directly in the VS Code by using the Command-Shift-P shortcut, typing the fix and choosing Stylelint to fix the file. You can also modify the settings and enable file formatting every time you save a file. And it happens in the background, so you write the code that it is not compliant with the rule set, you see many of the errors that you're supposed to fix, but you can just run one command or even save the file if this config is enabled and everything will be handled for you. As you maybe remember, in the latest video I have integrated the Prettier into my workflow to enhance the coding styles across some projects. And I want to talk about integrating Stylelint with Prettier, because until version 15, Stylelint managed stylistic rules, which Prettier also handled. This overlap meant that whichever tool was used last, it could override the changes made by the other. However, with the release of version 16, Stylistic discontinued support for stylistic rules and recommends Prettier for these tasks now. So Stylelint concentrates mostly on the architectural consensus and lets Prettier handle stylistic rules. It sounds fine, but I have some doubts. Please check out the following code, which breaks the different rules like incorrect quotes in line 2, handled by Stylelint, and incorrect indentation in the line 2 or 3, handled by Prettier. When I run Stylelint checks, it works great and shows all the rule violations with exact references. When I run Prettier to check formatting, I get only the information about files, which includes problems without any further references. I know that Prettier was created to forget about those problems. Automatic corrections, especially with features like format on save, are amazing and improve the coding experience a lot, but they can also obscure learning opportunities. For developers who thrive on detailed feedback to improve their coding practices, seeing each issue is beneficial. Also, without CI/CD processes or integration with Git hooks with tools like Husky, developer must remember to format the code before pushing. This reliance on memory is a potential source of the problems, and I don't like this, and that's why I prefer seeing problems immediately as I write. I can't just say, oh, I forgot about formatting, because everything is highlighted on the red, so that's not possible. So while Prettier is an excellent tool, it truly shines only in the right hands. Maybe not only, but mostly. So is there any alternative? It might seem that with Stylelint's decisions to remove stylistic rules, you'd be left without those capabilities, unless you switch to using Prettier. However, that isn't the case. A community-driven plugin has brought these deprecated rules back. After installing the additional plugin, stylistic issues such as breaking indentation rules are also displayed in the reports, of course if we make the specific configurations in our Stylelint config. So to confirm, as you can see, if you run the lint file again, after the configuring Stylelint to use all the deprecated rules, you see all the issues, like for example breaking the indentation rules, breaking the quotes rules and others. So that's something that we wanted to achieve. So what approach do I use? In the previous video about Prettier, I mentioned that I wouldn't use Prettier for managing stylistic rules in CSS code, believing that it was the right approach at this time. However, I must admit that my perspective has changed a little bit. Of course, I had the concerns about developers losing awareness of forgetting about the formatting process, but it might not be a huge problem when integrating tools like Husky or setting up the CI/CD processes, which I plan to implement soon. Therefore now I use Stylelint to handle CSS architectural concern and let Prettier take care of the formatting. Let me know in the comments, what approach do you use? Do you use Prettier for formatting everything like CSS or JavaScript files too, or do you just use those tools separately? And remember that in those courses we build our WordPress theme or plugin start and template, and everything that we change here is visible in the repository. I plan to implement much more the features there, so if you are interested in them, just check out my other videos or subscribe to my channel to see the new releases. So to sum everything up, using Stylelint not only enforces good coding habits and helps you spot the problems early, but it also keeps your code base sharp and consistent. As you customize Stylelint to fit into your workflow, you will notice improvements not just in your code quality, but also in the efficiency of your development process. So go ahead, dive in, make the necessary adjustments and watch as the quality of your CSS improves. And that's all I wanted to show you today. So thank you for your time. Remember to check out the repository. I will put all the links in the video description. Remember to check out also my blog, where I put all the information also there. So if you prefer to read the articles about the topics that I create here, I insist you to check it out because it is there for you. So again, thank you for your time and see you next time. Bye bye. Oh, I have one more thing. I'm recording this video just after getting back from the WordCamp Poland in Gliwice, and I want to send a big thanks to all the organizers. Monika, Kasia, Maciek, you have done a really great job, and it was a pleasure to be there and spend the time with others, discussing not only development topic, so I want to send a big thanks to you. David, I also want to send a big thanks to you, because I was on your workshops about introducing testing process in WordPress, and as I said, you have really great vibe. So again, thank you all you guys, and see you next time, probably in the WordCamp Europe. Bye bye!